This episode is brought to you by New Universe. New Universe is a company founded by a good buddy of mine, and he has become officially the first sponsor of the Two Retired Kickers podcast. New Universe is an up-and-coming lifestyle brand. The team wants to encourage you to pursue your passion. Stop by newuniverse.shop and sign up for the newsletter today for 15% off of your first order and to be the first to hear about the great projects the New Universe team is working on. Hey, what's going on, my guy?
What's going on?
Oh, that's a great way to start a podcast, buddy.
Sorry.
No, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude, so the other day, not the other day, but I was checking into ESPN and all this other bullshit going on with the coronavirus, and they're just playing nothing but old, like, highlight reels and, like, interesting games, and it gave me this idea, all right? The idea of the greatest games that we have attended and or seen.
Okay.
I don't know if I put that the correct way, but that's where we're at, and that's what
You're talking about games that are most sentimental to you, not what everybody would agree upon is the best game ever seen or played, right?
Correct. These are sentimental games to us. And that's where we're starting here today. And we got some good ones. I know I have some good ones for you, but
you've got the luxury of attending more of those games than I do. I haven't really been to big games before, like playoff games.
Yeah.
Because my teams suck, for one. So I never get a chance to go. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Hit me though. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I kind of ranked mine. I think I have like 8 or so games that really jumped out at me. And that one, I'll just start it off. November 14th, 2009. And I know you know how old I am, but in case anybody who else doesn't know, I turned 25 this April. So we're not old enough to be able to, like, pick out games that we saw in the 80s or the 90s, well, possibly the 90s, but for me, my first one that I want to throw out there was November 14th, 2009. This was my very first game where I had the luxury of sitting in the front row.
Okay.
Oklahoma State versus Texas Tech college football at Boone Pickens Stadium.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was badass, man. This was the Michael Crabtree era. He played for Texas Tech at the time. And I was in high school. I was my freshman year of high school, I believe. Yeah, it was. So I was really getting into football at this time, actually just starting to kick and stuff. And it just really hit home with me because it was my first ever front row game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the thrill of sitting front row at any sporting event, you're definitely going to be way more into it. And it was right in front of the Oklahoma State University cheerleaders. So that was, as a 14-year-old high school kid raging with hormones, I was in heaven.
Yeah. Pimple face, the big boner, front row.
Just a big old chubby right there in front of everybody, probably. No, but I'm not going to get too into detail with these games, only some of them, but that's just one that was really sentimental to me. Being in the front row for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Hit me with one.
Well, okay, so, growing up on the Oregon coast and living in Oregon, I've always been a Beaver, forever. And with becoming a Beaver, that just means you naturally have to hate the Ducks.
Of course.
And so, I caught a couple Civil Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I was at probably Oregon State's one of the most famous Oregon State ones, probably the most Oregon State victory in Civil War history. It was the 1998
Okay.
Civil War. Double overtime. Oregon State ran it in for a touchdown. Ken Simonton. I think that was great. I was at the 2000 and there was a stretch I went on. I think I went to the 2002, 2004, and 2006 Civil War games. They were all at Reser Stadium for Oregon State, and Oregon State won all of them.
Wow.
And because all the odd years the Ducks won, and then they've just been kicking Oregon State's ass ever since. But I think the '98 Civil War for me, and any Beaver fan really, I would say that. I mean, I was a kiddo. I might have been 8.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't even realize that the Oregon State rivalry is one of the biggest, oldest traditions in college football.
Yeah. No, it's God.
I didn't until I met you, honestly. And I've yet to go to an Oregon State game, or Oregon game, but
I will say this, though. I think plenty of Oregon State games, so I saw a lot of good Pac-12 players.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Jackson when he played at Cal.
Of course, Poyer.
Right. Marshawn Lynch when he played at Cal. Matt Leinart. Dwayne Jarrett. Reggie Bush was the one that I saw. I watched USC when they were the number 1 team in the country. Play the Huskies in Seattle. I went with one of my buddies, and at this time, Reggie Bush is the best player.
Is that where the Huskies play their games, in Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I didn't even know that.
And at this time, Reggie Bush is like the dude. He's the shit.
Right. He was at the height of his career almost in terms of his college football days.
Yeah, and his dynamic way of football. I don't think people have really seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty inevitable he was going to win the Heisman. But I saw him return a punt, and you can watch it on YouTube where you're just like, oh my god. So that was in 2005 USC at Washington. I think the Huskies won 51-24 or something like that. They just kicked the shit out of the Huskies. But I was at that game though, and that's for sure. And it was important to me now because when you see college football play, you didn't see Reggie Bush's caliber kind of guy is seen pretty often now in college football. Reggie Bush, his caliber did not exist.
Right.
Outside of Reggie Bush.
Before his era, it was almost non-existent to see that type of talent on the field.
Adrian Peterson was like right there with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, I don't know.
Speaking of Adrian Peterson, that's my number 1, but I'll save that for a little bit later. I'm going to skip to my number 6. I mean, this is, number 7 actually. So I'm jumping all around. I tried to rank these games in as best a fashion as I could, so bear with me when I'm jumping around sports, though, okay? So number 7 for me was, some of these I had to look up the exact dates, but June 18th, 2017, pretty recent. Stanley Cup Finals, Game 5 against the Nashville Predators for the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh.
Oh, right.
Yeah. This was in the season when the Penguins were trying to reach back-to-back champions. And it had only been done a handful of times. The Penguins had done it before, 91, 92. Of course, the Canadians back in the day, they definitely had some back-to-backs. But a back-to-back in hockey nowadays is so hard. But this game in particular, I had, once again, the luxury of being taken to by I wouldn't call her a lady of the evening, but she was...
Oh, wow.
No, she was a good friend of mine, and we definitely had some relations. I'm not going to get into...
Lady of the evening. We went there, huh?
I'm not
she was
gonna
a friend of yours?
She was a friend of mine, all right, and I'm not gonna get in any more details other than that we did have relations, but that's not the point of the story.
All right. Dig it. More.
No more. So the game that took place, this was the brewing of the PK Subban Sidney Crosby rivalry as well. I think in this series was when like Sidney Crosby and him got into many altercations when Sidney Crosby literally put his face in the ice, and then PK Subban was talking shit after a game to Crosby, and later on in an interview they asked they asked Crosby what he said, and he goes, "I'm not going to say anything." And then they asked Subban what he told Crosby, and Subban told the interviewers, "Well, he said my breath stinks, so I told him that I take Listerine." Like, just some random ass answer.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think I remember that.
He was literally avoiding the question and brought up something completely different to avoid what actually was said. But that was that rivalry, and the Penguins won 6-0 that game for Game 5.
Okay.
The Penguins eventually won Game 6 in Nashville with a game-winning Patrick Hornquist goal. But that was a special one for me. It was their last win of the regular season in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Or not regular season, but playoffs. And so, yeah.
That's a good game to go to, I bet.
I mean,
what
their last one before they got back-to-back in Nashville, so.
Nice. What else is on your list?
Number 6 for me. Christmas 2006 was my very first ever Dallas Cowboys game. Yeah, it was against the Eagles. It was in the corner of this was in the old Cowboys Stadium as well. I'll never forget second quarter, Terrell Owens catching a touchdown pass, like an immaculate touchdown pass in that corner that we were sitting from Tony Romo, man. Like,
oh, right.
It was insane, dude. Like,
did he do any stupid touchdown dance?
He didn't do the popcorn eating, or he didn't like run to the star like he did when he was playing in San Francisco, but it was definitely insane for me. Like, this was my first time this was my first NFL game, let alone a Dallas Cowboys game. So it was my first time actually experiencing this at the professional level. I mean, I remember my dad and we got, I know it's kind of weird to bring up now, but we got like face paintings and shit like normal, like diehard fans would do. I got a full face painting. My dad got one like on his cheek and shit. It was only slightly chilly, believe it or not, on that Christmas day. I remember. So the roof was open too. And of course, I've told you this. My dad, he got season tickets a few years later when the Cowboys opened the new stadium. Later on in Arlington, and I've gone to many games since, but that was my first ever Cowboys game, and I'll never forget it. So,
on to number 5.
On to number 5 and 4, because they're very similar in the fact that I got to witness a game, my first ever Yankees game, in the old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, all right.
And number 5 being, I got to witness a game in the first season of the new Yankee Stadium in 2010. So 2009, 2010, I got to witness a game in both Yankee Stadiums.
Sweet.
Yeah, and they won them in both games. I remember both of the games being home run freaking derbies, basically. But, the state... What's that?
I wish they would have never built a new stadium. I wish they would have kept old Yankee
What's
Stadium
crazy
forever.
is that when I remember going into the new Yankee Stadium, is that I remember thinking to myself, this is literally the exact same stadium, except newer. Like,
I was going to say, they did a really good job of making it look like identical, like very close to what it looked like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the white pillars behind home plate and shit, and
short porch right field.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it was Very similar stadium, very similar appearances, just everything brand new, basically. So,
All right.
well, I'm gonna keep going because I feel like I'm on a roll here.
Yeah, you are.
Number 3, New Year's Day. Well, technically New Year's Eve, 2010. All-State Sugar Bowl between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Florida Gators.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in New Orleans. All right.
Wait, what year?
2010.
Oh, who's QB for Florida?
You already know.
I'm trying to think.
Tebow, baby.
Really? I thought that was like '07.
Nope. It was Tim Tebow's final game for Florida in 2010.
Wow, how did I break that badly? That's embarrassing.
No. A lot of people think he played football like earlier than that. Like the 2010 wasn't his last game, but like I said, it was New Year's at the Superdome in New Orleans. Literally everybody was partying out in the streets of New Orleans. We did some awesome touring of New Orleans with the graveyards and Bourbon Street, all that good stuff. But what I remember most was the game being a complete offensive rout. I mean, I'll just get to it. Final score, Florida Gators 51, Cincinnati 24. And
It wasn't Tebow was he Heisman Trophy winner that year?
Good question.
No,
I don't think I think it was the year before. But this was also a very big, I'd call him infamous. Aaron Hernandez's, I believe, last game as a Gator as well. Yeah, and
Interesting.
he had a couple touchdowns, or at least one touchdown that game. But this also was the game when Urban Meyer, a couple days before the game, announced that he would be taking a leave of absence due to health reasons.
Wow.
So that kind of sucked. I didn't get to see him in person, but there were literally so many offensive records that were being broke that night. I had to look up the stats actually when I knew I was going to talk about this game. Tebow had 320 first half passing yards. They won the game, or they won the game, of course, but they were up 30-3 at halftime. 482 passing yards on the game, 533 total yards of offense, 659 total yards.
Jeez.
Tebow started the game with 12 consecutive completions, all of those being records of the Sugar Bowl at the time. I don't know if they've been broken or not, but intense game. And afterwards, it was perfect because it was a night game. It ended around like 11 or so, and it rolled perfectly to us being in the streets of New Orleans for the ball to drop, like at midnight for New Year's. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a great day, to say the least. And
how old were you at the time? This
2010, so I was 15.
All right. Oh, okay. Well, no, you're old enough. There's probably some drunk college.
I definitely had.
Woo! Yeah. I just drank a beer. Who wants to do me? I do. I do.
I want it now. Some drunk girl coming over to you.
Yeah,
hey,
drunk.
You wanna do stuff?
Do stuff. Look, lady, I'm
yes.
honestly,
Let's have intercourse.
Yeah,
I'm actually 15.
Just here for business. Yeah, I'm actually 15.
Dude,
so
no, I actually did see quite a few titties that night, and I don't mean that as a degrading term. I mean, girls were pulling their tits out everywhere.
Good for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what you got. On your...
Let's see. What do
you got? What's better than that for you?
I got two more that are better. One of them's more iconic than it is memorable. Well, of course it's memorable, but my number 2, the 2007-2008 AFC Championship in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston. All right.
January 20th of that year, 2008. New England Patriots versus the San Diego Chargers at Gillette Stadium.
Oh, man.
So my dad, he was on business up in the Northeast at the time, and it was that time of the year. He was like, hey, you want to go watch the AFC Championship game? No big deal. I was like, yes. So we did it, and we made a trip of it, and I'm kidding you not. You and I have played in some cold games, but this was by far the coldest game I had ever been to. It had, I'm not joking, like a wind chill of 0 degrees. It wasn't snowing, but there was snow from earlier, and people were literally taking snowballs and throwing them in the fucking stands.
Something I'd expect out of Philly, but, you know.
Yeah, seriously. And but the thing that's iconic about this game / season for the New England Patriots, that was the New England Patriots' last win of the season, in which they were undefeated.
That's right, 18 down, right?
Yeah, 18 down. They had an undefeated regular season, won every game of the playoffs up until the Super Bowl the next week against the Giants.
What was their fucking A? What was the Pats?
What?
I'm looking something up. Keep going. Sorry about that. I'm looking up a Patriots stat of that year.
They had a lot of good stats. I mean, they had a fucking badass team. They had Brady, who broke the touchdown pass record of the regular season. They had Randy Moss, who broke the touchdowns caught of the regular season.
16 and fucking 0, man.
Yeah.
Good God.
Last team to do that was the freaking 72 Dolphins.
Except they finished undefeated in New England.
Dude, that was a great ass time though. I mean, the Brady, the Moss, they had Mike Vrabel, who would come in and catch those passes as tight ends. Remember that, the linebacker?
Yeah.
Asante Samuel, the cornerback. San Diego in that game. They had Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates, etc., etc. I don't know. This is just another weird thing to say, I guess. But after the game, everybody was a little lit. You know what I mean? Like, it was AFC Championship game they just won, and we leave the stadium, and we're going to the car, and we're in the parking lot. And as we're walking through the parking lot, everybody's still tailgating / eating, and there was this
they
smell.
Probably did that till what kind of smell?
This aroma. I know you're gonna think I'm a fucking fat ass for saying this, but
what?
No, like, I can't even describe the smell I had, but it was one of the greatest smells I've ever smelled of. And then we passed by it, and it was these drunk Patriot fans, and they're like, hey, you want to come try some of this? We just cooked it up. And we're like, well, what is it?
Cool.
It was like, we made some garlic Parmesan lamb. And I'm like, lamb? I've never even had lamb. Like,
lamb and tuna fish?
And I don't know if it was just because we were cold as hell for 6 straight hours or what, but that may have been some of the best tailgating food I've ever had.
Well, I mean, if you're in a situation like that where you've been cold all freaking day for 4 hours or 2-3 hours or something like that, however long that game took, and, you know, it's kind of getting late in the evening, I mean, just hot food in general, it could be a fried fucking burrito. Who gives a shit? It's going to be the best thing you've ever ate in your life.
Absolutely. It was just one of those times where...
Have it now, you'd be like, this isn't...
Yeah, probably. If I had it now, like, just... regular day, be like, oh, this is all right, pretty good stuff. But
yeah, there's one time where I was on the road for like, I don't know, 6 straight hours, 7 straight hours or something like that, and I hadn't eaten forever, and I pulled over to a gas station. You know that brown food that's been under a lamp for like 4 days, where they like with the JoJo's and like the fried chicken and like the pizza pockets and all the stuff you see at a gas station. Well, I had like 2 corn dogs there that I, like, as soon as I got them, I ate. I didn't even leave the gas station with 2 of them. They were both gone. I ate them before I left.
Jesus.
I bought them and ate them. and didn't even get out of the building and turned around and bought 2 more.
Yeah, it's just one of those times where anything can be good.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. What's your number 1?
Well, my number 1, I think it was a no-brainer for me just because of the story and how it happened. So it was November 25th, 2006. I was, 11 years old, but I remember it more vividly than any sports game that I have ever attended. And it was Oklahoma Sooners playing the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Oklahoma State, in in Stillwater. So I can't remember the story of how we got to be going to this game or why we was there, but we decided to go to the game. I think it was mainly because I was kind of a big OU fan at the time and a big Adrian Peterson fan at the time. And so we get there. We don't have tickets, but we're like in the area for some reason. I can't remember the reason, but we're there. And we get my dad, he buys us tickets that was scalped.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're
Those guys are good for something every now and then.
Yeah, they were, but not in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
We buy these scalp tickets. We get up to the gate to go into the game, and the ticket attendee was like,
"No way."
He was like, "Sir, I don't know where you got these tickets from, but these tickets have already been used, and they're in the stadium already."
Fuck that guy. Did you go chase that guy down?
We had bought the tickets from a scalp guy and then like went and did shit outside the stadium for like a half hour before we went in, right before kickoff. And so we have these tickets and they won't let us in, and apparently some other person had the same exact problem because they was like, "Oh, they're not letting you in either." They was like, "What happened?" And we're just like, "We bought these fucking tickets and they won't let us in," saying that somebody else already used the tickets and they're in the building already, or in the stadium already. And
like, how's that possible?
So what they do is they have the tickets, they sell them to somebody willing to go into the stadium, and then they feed the tickets back through the gates to the person selling them, and they resell them. And they're already used, so they're no good, and they're just fucking fake tickets, basically.
How much did your
it was
old man drop
a good
on that?
chunk. It was probably like $100 a pop.
That's just
yeah, just literally robbery. So my dad was very upset, to say the least, as was I, and thinking that we traveled all the way to Stillwater not being able to see a college football game now. And this was my first ever college football game to ever go to. So I'm very disappointed. And my dad was like, "You know what? Hold on. Let's go over here and see what we can do." And my dad, being the badass that he was, he brings us over to Will Call, and we're sitting in a line behind a couple people, and he goes, "Hurry, who's your favorite Oklahoma football player, like playing currently?" And I'm like, "Adrian Peterson." And he was out that game, like the rest of the season, for a collarbone injury, but I was like, still Adrian Peterson. And this is in Stillwater, OSU territory, and I'm wearing Oklahoma gear and shit, but I'll get to that later. So we get to Will Call, and my dad goes to the attendant, "Hey, we got some tickets waiting for us." And we're like, "Okay, who left them?" He's like, "Adrian Peterson."
Oh my god. No.
I swear to God. And she was like, "Okay, and who did they leave him for? What's your name?" He goes, "Arnie Louthan." He goes, "Well, it doesn't seem to be that he left you any. Are you sure it was Adrian Peterson?" He goes, "Yes, it was Adrian Peterson."
Yes. Yeah, it was.
And like, I'm just sitting there like with my head down, shaking my head like, oh my God, Dad, what are we doing here? Like, I knew he was a fucking Heisman hopeful at the time of that season. And we're saying that he's the one who left us tickets.
Yeah.
Like, But long story short, the will call gate. They turn us down, and so we're walking around,
Oh,
and we're just waiting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the length of the story, but it's worth it. So we're there, whatever, and we're walking around the stadium, just heads down, tails between our legs, like holy
Yeah.
shit, we really
Fuck.
traveled all
Not
this
gonna
way
go.
to not even go to a game. And then all of a sudden, we're walking around the stadium, and we see this one gate open, and like one gate into the stadium open. And
Okay.
my dad literally grabs me by my arm, hand on my fucking biceps, as rough as
Yes.
possible, said, "Let's go. Don't say a word. Just let's fucking go." He grabs
Yes.
me by the arm
No
and yanks
way.
me, and we start almost sprinting into the stadium.
Yes.
We get into the stadium and we watch the game. And what's
Oh
funny?
my gosh.
What's funny is that our tickets that the guys sold us, we found out later, were from the Oklahoma State student section.
Oh my god.
So we was like, well, we have the tickets. We might as well go to our assigned seats. And
like,
we did. And as soon as I got there, I was in Oklahoma gear in the Oklahoma State student section. And it didn't go down very well. And I was kind
Yeah.
of scared at this time. Like, it was 2006. What was I? 11 years old. I was still a kid. And I'm like, Dad, I don't know if I can root for Oklahoma right now. And we went out later, and I got like an Oklahoma State shirt and put it on just so I
There
didn't
you
feel
go.
bad for wearing OU. OU actually won the game, but yeah, that's my story.
That's so cool, actually.
Yeah, by far the greatest memory of any sporting event I ever attended.
I knew a guy, much like your story. He wanted to get into this AAA baseball game.
Mhm.
Oh, it was the AAA All-Star game. It was in Albuquerque. I only know that because my cousin was the.
Oh, the Chihuahuas, yeah.
Isotopes.
Isotopes, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Albuquerque.
Yeah. Chihuahuas are El Paso.
Yeah, I thought you said El Paso. My fault.
Oh, but he wanted to get into the AAA All-Star game, and he was like, "Fuck, dude, I can't like get into the state that it's sold out and everything like that." And you're like, shoot, and he was like, "No, fuck it." So he just went up to the gate and was like, "Hey, sorry I'm late, but I they won't let me through the gate." And they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the beer guy. I work for the vending," and they bought it.
No way.
Yeah, they just let him walk through the gate. He just made up some total ruse. And it was a bad ruse too. It wasn't even a good lie.
Yeah, I'm the
It's like-
beer guy. I sell the beer here. Come on.
I sell for Bud Light, he just made some stupid distributing company for like Jose's distributing in Albuquerque, and I'm late
Oh
for the
my
game.
God.
And they're like, shoot. Well, you're supposed to go back there. Your gate's over there. He's, oh, okay, thank you. And he gets into the game. I'm just like, kidding me?
That's badass.
Some people have the best luck with that. I would go 0 for 10. It would never work for me. I would freeze for one because I'd be like, I'm breaking
Yeah.
the rules. There's no way that.
Well,
That's gonna be
that's how
allowed.
I am too. My dad was the exact opposite of that, where he could get away with just about anything he wanted. He was just like, I don't
think
want
on
to
his
say
feet.
he's like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys being the
But he-
best con artist of all time, but he kind of is. Like, he could do anything he wanted and get away with it somehow. And dude, that's fucking A. He was like, real quick, tell me, who's your favorite Oklahoma player? Adrian Peterson. Yeah, we got tickets from Adrian Peterson. Yeah, he definitely left them for us here at Will Call about a week ago.
It's not in there? Shoot, can you check again?
That's literally
Alright.
what happened. He's like, they just like, no, definitely didn't leave any tickets for anybody under that name. Well, check again. He definitely told us they'd be here, and I'm kind of going to be disappointed if they're not here. So
What am I supposed to do? I drove all this way. Trying to make him feel
you're going
bad
to tell
for
me
you.
I can't go into the game without tickets now? What is this?
All right. Well, Alex, we just rallied off your top games. You know, I'm a little disappointed. You didn't talk about your Kobe and Kobe's last game in Cleveland game. You did go to that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of more memorable games for me personally rather than iconic games, but that is definitely up there.
Oh,
And
honorable mention for sure.
yeah, definitely honorable mention to say the least with Kobe's farewell season. It wasn't the last game Kobe played against LeBron. They played later in the season in LA, but it was the last time they played in Cleveland against LeBron. So, I mean, I'll never forget that one, of course. And I mean, I've told you many times, not including like college games that I've been to where I was attending the university and got them for free. I think I was starting to count up the number of professional or college games that I went to actually attend and paid for. It was upwards of the 100, man. It was up there. And I tried to break it down to my top 5 or 10 ish, but it's tough, man.
I hear you. Well, we did your top. I don't know if it was your top 10 of games.
It was like my top 8, I think, but yeah.
What about the top ones that you've seen on television?
This one I didn't
Most
rank.
iconic sports moments that you've seen on television. I ranked mine 10 through 1.
Okay. I have, let's see here. I have my top 8 again as well, actually.
Okay.
But
I'll do my first 2 and then you go, and then we'll both start at 8, okay?
oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so my 10th one was on April 24th, 2019, which is just last year of all things. Been on this planet for 28 years, going on 29 years, and my 10th best sports moment of my life happened last year, and that was when Damian Lillard hit that game-winning shot over Oklahoma City.
Oh yes.
Just to end the series. It's just like, oh, yes. 'Cause fuck Westbrook and fuck OKC, because they were just, gosh, man, they were in Schroeder and Adams. You know, I like Adams. Gosh, they were just chewing, just talking so much shit. All fucking, just the entire series.
Yeah.
And Damian was just kind of tight-lipped, it was like like he always is. And then just to have him hit that shot right in their face, it was just like, I got you. Yeah.
Dude, clutch
so
Damian
that was
Lillard is
Oh, man, he hit that thing from like half court, too.
yeah,
It's
I remember that one.
It was great to watch. My number 9 was the 2011 World Series when David Freese just went on his tear. I believe it was Game 6.
You said
Do you remember that?
2009?
2011.
Oh, 2011. Okay, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, David Freese. I think Texas was about ready to win Game 6. They were up 3 in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs with 2 strikes.
Uh-huh. Yep.
1 strike away from either winning the series or, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, because it went to 7 games, didn't it?
Yes. Yes?
So,
Yes.
I don't know. You might have to fact check that. I just know that St. Louis's backs were just against the fucking wall. And you're like, oh, man, this is it. I think Texas actually could have won it, if I'm right. I don't know. I'd have to look back. But, yeah, 2 strikes, hits a fucking 2-run or 3-run triple to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah.
And then gets up in the bottom of the 11th and hits a walk-off.
Dude,
okay.
Almost nothing better than a Game 7 walk-off in the MLB playoffs.
I mean, rarely happens.
Right.
But
even
just a walk-off in
even if
general
it's
is
a
so cool
divisional
to see.
series game, like any
yeah,
walk-off is almost the pinnacle of excitement in any sport for me personally.
What's your number 8?
Well, like I said, I didn't rank mine per se, so I'm just gonna go out and say them. For me, the first one that came to mind, and I know this is very recent, but last year's 2019 Masters.
Watching Tiger get it back. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It literally tugged on so many heartstrings of mine.
So many for a lot of people, too. You were just like, fuck, man, if he could just do one more. I won't ask ever again.
Growing up, watching him perform, and I idolized him so much. And to see how his quote unquote downfall took place,
That was a rough patch, dude.
yeah, and for him to climb back the way he did, and like the whole year leading up to this Masters, it was just the perfect storm brewing for him to come through in this moment for us as golf fans. And
God, just
people who
injury
don't
after
watch
injury.
golf, they still can connect with this, I think. Like,
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean,
It's like, Tiger, yes.
it was so perfect too. Like, it was literally the cream of the crop. Obviously, with being the Masters, I think he scored a 13 under through 4 rounds.
Check
But
this
literally, Xander Schauffele, Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Molinari, all finishing within a stroke or two of them, and it's just one of those iconic moments. Like, even of course he would tear up and get emotional after he wins that, and he had a couple putts to spare too on the 18th, and he did so. But
Well,
man, oh man,
it's funny because there's a stat that I saw that when Tiger was playing well across the nation, driving range attendees would increase. Like,
wait,
golf courses would see a surge in their driving range use, so that would mean like they were like selling buckets of balls.
oh, I see.
So it was like across the nation that they would see it, and it wasn't just like a minor increase. This was a big increase. When Tiger starts playing good, people are like, that's it, I'm going to the fucking range for
Yeah.
I gotta go bang some fucking balls at 6:00 at night on a Sunday. Fucking A.
It just shows you the fucking impact he had on the whole U.S., let alone the world, man.
No, he has.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it is. Really is. My number 8. 2013, 2014 had some good ones for me. And I think this one gets me the most just because it's Vern Lundquist.
Oh, okay.
He's on a couple here too. It's something about Uncle Vern that you're just like, I wouldn't want anybody else making that call. And that was the kick 6.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It was just, here goes Davis. No one's going to touch him.
He's running down the field.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Auburn.
No one's going to catch you.
Dude.
Just the way he says it. So good. Honestly, not even an Auburn fan at all. I know my brother doesn't really care for that because he likes Alabama, but gosh, just like you almost get kind of choked up.
I don't know what it is about the way he delivered that commentary, but it reminds me of the band is running out on the field. Like that moment.
Oh, the band is out on the field.
Yes.
It's going to go into the end zone. It's a great one.
Yeah, that's the right one. And
it's funny because my, do you remember where you were when the kick 6 happened?
yes, I do.
Yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm.
What's crazy is that I was rooting for Adam Griffith to hit that field goal so hard.
God, man.
Because
What is it with Alabama and just shitting the fucking bed with field goals in that game?
Well, it's not even that game. It's the whole program.
Yeah. It's just notorious.
They recruit the best. They almost year in year out they get the best recruits, even including kickers, and yet I think it's just because there's too much pressure of that program, man.
To be honest, I think the best one that they've had was probably Shelley.
Yeah, Shelley. Didn't Cade Foster blow it as well? Wasn't that
he went
6-3 game against LSU?
I thought that was kick 6.
Or kick.
Was it?
No, kick 6 was Adam Griffith kicking that.
Well, yeah, he kicked the last one because the first guy before him went 0-3.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think that was because of Cade Foster.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a guy. He reminds me of my backup at State, and Brock Baca, real similar bodies.
Oh yeah, of course I know Brock. Did I ever tell you the story about me and Bama?
Would you walk on?
No. Well, shit, hell, I wanted to, but no, I went to Alabama's kicking camp my junior year, I believe, and Adam Griffith and I, we were the same class. Maybe he was a year older, I can't remember, but at the kicking camp, you would perform in the morning, and then Chris Saylor and Urban Meyer would be out watching all the kickers, and Saban would pick 3 kickers to kick for him at lunchtime while all the other campers were out at lunch. And they picked me, a kid named Izzy DePlaza, and Adam Griffith. And
The rest is history.
yeah, that's literally how it went down. I finished
cool,
second behind Adam Griffith. He made like a 62-yarder after I missed a 60. And yeah, so they offered him the scholarship, and fuck me, right? No, but
my number 7, also another Vern Lundquist call. It's when Tiger Woods chips in on the 16th at the 2005 Masters. You know, when he hits it way up on the hill, and Vern's like, "Here we go, here it comes," and it almost reminds me of the Happy Gilmore, the "Hold it."
Hold it.
No. Really, really good. Awesome. One of the most iconic sports moments of my life. I remember that. Just the crowd going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you?
Okay, this one brings back more childhood memories. The 2003 Fiesta Bowl. Miami versus Ohio State. Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah. Miami got fucking robbed.
The questionable call.
Oh, and Willis McGahee breaking his leg in a way that is the most disturbing thing you've ever seen in your life. I think that was Willis McGahee. I swear that was that game.
I think you're right. Regardless, this was arguably the biggest controversial call in college football history. I mean, I remember staying up late for this game because it went into double overtime, and I had it was a school night for me, but I still remember getting to stay up and watch the national championship this year, and both teams undefeated, obviously, and it goes into overtime. The Hurricanes, they scored a touchdown on their first possession of overtime, basically, and they made it 24-17. 4th and 3. I'll never forget this, man. 4th and 3 for Ohio State on the Miami, I believe, 5-yard line. And it was do or die for them. And they basically, this was the time of Craig Krenzel and Maurice Clarett for Ohio State. And Chris Gamble, too. But Craig Krenzel throws a pass to Chris Gamble, bounced around, ruled incomplete, and like 5 seconds go by, nothing happened.
Oh my
Miami
God,
Hurricanes
sorry.
are literally
so sorry.
celebrating on the field.
So sorry to interrupt you. I just watched that Willis McGahee gif.
Oh no.
And, oh my God.
Oh no.
My God.
Yeah. I was almost as bad as the Louisville basketball player one a couple years back.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep. Sorry, continue.
No, but they threw the pass. It was ruled incomplete. Like, everybody on the Hurricanes bench and field is celebrating. We just won the national championship. 4-3,
a fucking horrible call.
And then all of a sudden, all the linesmen and the field judges converse. There goes the penalty flag, pass interference.
Ugh.
And, I mean, it was a questionable call to say the least.
Oh, so bad. You go back and watch
such
it
a
to this
bad
day,
call.
you're just like, what the fuck is that?
They get a fresh set of downs, obviously, because it being pass interference, automatic first down, and 3rd down, they fucking tie the game up, sending it to a second overtime, scored on its next possession, Ohio State did. And, yeah.
Rest is history.
The rest is history.
My number 6 is when just the entire series of the Cleveland Cavaliers being down 3-1 against Golden State and then coming back and winning. Was that 2016?
Yes, it was. That was one of mine as well.
Such a great, just what the fuck just happened?
I'm kind of surprised people still aren't even talking about it to this day. Like the trend of, oh, you blew a 3-1 series lead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's insane to me. I mean, that doesn't happen, particularly in professional sports at the championship level. I don't know why that's not like the most iconic champion or NBA champion or final series ever.
I think that's LeBron James' most iconic moment was that series, in my opinion.
The block.
The block. Yeah, it's known as the block. He came out of nowhere during that play, by the way, and I think I watched a clip of that the other day, and I looked in the background for the first time, and I see all these Warrior fans with their hands in the air saying, "What the fuck? That was goaltending!"
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're saying it was goaltending. And I'm like, no, it's not. I rewound it like 5 times, and I'm like, it is clearly not goaltending. But their initial reaction, because they're Warriors fans, was, it was definitely goaltending. It was goaltending. But, dude, 3-1 deficit against Steph Curry was peaking. I wouldn't say peaking, but his stardom was peaking. That was the biggest fuck you to the NBA that I could see. The Cleveland Cavaliers, like, obviously they have the best player in the world in LeBron James, but he had nobody around him other than like Kevin Love, not Kyrie yet, but
Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie was there. Who was the other one? J.R. Smith,
Tristan Thompson,
yeah, but
Dellavedova.
The fact that Dellavedova is one of your top 5 players, though,
fair enough. Wasn't Richardson on there? I mean, not Richardson. Jefferson on there.
Jefferson, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's your next one? What's another iconic one for you?
I'm gonna switch to baseball for my next 2.
Okay.
The 2016 Chicago Cubs.
All right. That's exactly my next one as well.
Yeah. I mean, the curse of the Billy Goat and the curse of Steve Bartman all ending this season, basically.
Talk about just totally ruining a fucking man's life and treating a guy like shit.
Yeah.
Gosh, damn. Has there ever been a person who's ever had it worse than him? Ever?
No. As a sports fan, no.
No. Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Just
and
so
to this
bad.
day, too, still.
So bad.
To this day as well.
Will not talk to him. Won't talk to him. He'll have like other people. He'll have like a spokesperson for him to talk to them. Will not do it.
Literally, I read like articles that he just stays in hiding like his entire life.
And they've tried to apologize so much. Cubs Nation, Major League. I mean, the Cubs entirety. They've just been like, dude, please, just forgive us.
If he ever runs into any drunk Chicago Cubs fans and they recognize him, he is getting shit on.
It's sad.
It really is.
I mean, I don't think he gets shit on to this day though, Alex. I think even drunk Chicago fans would be like, "Oh my God, Steve, I'm so sorry."
You think?
Yeah.
I still think there's, I mean, even after the championship.
Well, if you're a fucking moron, then
yeah. Of course.
If you're an idiot, then sure, you'll still treat him like crap. But you've already won your World Series. The rest is gravy now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, if you saw Steve Bartman, the only thing you can do is just be like, hey, so
this literally happened 20 years ago, and
I'm so sorry.
But don't you feel bad though? I mean, literally being a fan trying to catch a foul ball. Like,
I'm not even a Cubs fan, and I feel horrible for that guy. And not to mention 14 other fucking people are sticking their hands in there, and Moises wouldn't have made the catch.
He wasn't the only one. He was not the only one.
Point out that guy because he's got a freaking green turtleneck and he's got earphones in. There was a
And
whole
glasses, like
ESPN like 30 for 30 or E60 on him one
Yeah.
time, and then I just went down a wormhole on YouTube for the poor guy, and then evidently the Cubs have offered him season. I've heard this might not be true.
Yeah,
but
I
I've
saw
heard
that as
they've
well.
offered him season tickets every year for the rest of his life. Throw out the first pitch of a game.
and he's just like, no, I'm not.
No.
There's no
And
way.
he's like, it's not even him. It's a spokesperson for him being like, fuck off.
yeah, seriously.
You've ruined this guy's life. You tried to kill him. You guys tried to murder him. Maybe not, but maybe some actually did. Maybe some idiots out there literally are like, I'm gonna kill him.
I mean, I'm
And you're
sure
like-
that's what some of them were saying, but who knows if they actually like fucking tried hiring a hitman or something. But
It's terrible.
it's
Disgusting.
terrible, yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, though, freaking 2016 Cubs first World Series in I think 108 years. It was
Something like that.
1908, and they won it
Yeah.
in 2016. So
Great one. What's your next one?
and they were down 3-1 in that
Oh.
series as well against the Indians.
Were they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I remember
know they
watching
came
that
back in
dorm
the-
room. I was watching that in my dorm room in Mount Union. Everybody around me was fucking Indians fans, and I was rooting for the Cubs, believe it or not.
Well, you had
But-
to.
Yeah.
In a way, I actually wouldn't have been that hurt if Chicago lost, because that would have meant that there's still something historic in baseball left. You know, there's something left.
Mm-hmm.
Now all we have is the fucking Mariners.
And the Pirates won it in like 79, I believe. But
Mariners are the only team in Major League Baseball that have not been to the World Series.
wait, they're the last ones?
Yep, they have not been there. Only team.
Well, consider them my second favorite team.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Last time we made the playoffs was 2001.
Wow.
And that's when we set the Major League Baseball record for most wins in a season. Won 116 games, lost in the ALDS. Fucking horseshit.
What a shit show. What a
Yeah.
shit-
Fucking Yankees beat us.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
That's
that's
right.
right. 2001 ALDS.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of Yankees, I'm going to stick with baseball on my next one. The 2004 ALCS. Red Sox, they were down 3-0 in the series against the New York Yankees.
You did it. Because you're talking about it, I have to. That's my number one.
Oh, man. Great. I'm sorry I ruined it.
No, you're fine.
I ruined it. I still have like
What?
4 more, and I ruined it for your number one.
No, it has to be the number one.
Yeah. Yep.
It's, oh man, 4 nights in October, you know, when Ben Simmons was talking about it, it's just like a classic Boston guy. You're like, fuck these guys, man. Fuck New York. You know, and I
Yeah.
loved those teams because those Boston, New York teams just absolutely hated each other. They did not like, it's not like it is today. where
Right.
They're like, yeah, you know, they're Boston. They're from New York. Yeah, screw 'em.
Early
It's like, no, man,
2000s
fuck
was
these
a
guys.
rough rivalry during that time.
And did not like each other at all. And it just seemed like New York was always just one up better. And it's because the year before, you know,
Yeah, it was the
AL
2003. Yeah.
Yeah, when Aaron Boone hit that jack walk off of
Mm-hmm.
Wakefield. And oh, man, I remember watching that. But then I remember when Boston was down 3-0. And I was so mad. I was like, God, fucking dang it. I fucking hate the Yankees, man. Fuck. And then a little bit of magic. Big Poppy hits the walk-off. And then you're like, okay, all right.
At
They get
least
one
they
back.
survived one game, is what you're
They
saying.
got one.
They
All right.
got one. They didn't get the brooms. Like,
Then not even 24 hours later, like fucking that same day.
shit.
Because they,
We're okay. They just won 2 games on us like that. Wow. All right.
Like, it's, you're like, well, what? But I thought it was crazy because they played in the same day. That's how late that third
Yep.
game went.
Yep.
They got
I
done at
remember.
like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It was
And, like,
real
great.
late.
Now we got to play and like at 7 o'clock today. Again, it's like a doubleheader with a huge break in between where everyone just takes a quick power nap and gets some food in their belly and do it all over again. And then they have to do it again.
Twice, actually.
That's right, because they win game 2. Or not game 2. They win game 5. Now they got to play 6 and 7 in New York. So they got to get on a plane and fly down to New York
All
and
odds
play.
are against you.
Yes, and you got to fly to New York that night. Maybe get some sleep on the plane. What are you gonna do? Check into a hotel at 3:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
Oh,
they have
where do
to,
they sleep?
but I mean, yeah, on buses from the airports, I guess.
Man. And so they do that. Then they get, was it Derek Lowe? Did he start game 6 or game 7? No, it was Schilling.
Schilling.
Yeah, that was the bloody sock game.
Yeah, yep, Schilling.
That's
You're
right.
absolutely
Schilling goes
right.
out. Just throws a gem of a night. And I think that was the night, too, where A-Rod goes running down the first baseline. And, where he, like, has that weird foul tip ball that goes down the first baseline. And the pitcher, I think Bronson Arroyo, picks it up and, like, tags him out. And A-Rod smacks it out of his fucking hand with his left arm. And the ball gets out, and the umpire calls him safe. And everyone, like, every Boston fan's like, you saw that,
He's
right?
fucking out. Like, he
You
touched
can't
him.
do that.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't
what are
do
you
that.
doing? And they're not calling him out. And like everyone in Boston's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They're literally going to win
Here
on
it
some
is.
fucking bullshit.
Here we go. Just gonna rip our hearts out again. And they make the right call. A-Rod's stand on second base like, what? What? I'm out?
Yeah.
Like, shut up, you little. You're out. Sit down, you fucking guy. Gosh.
Frig off, Barb.
Make it. So they win that. And then they go to game 7. Who started game 7? Or that wasn't in game 7, right?
No. I don't believe so.
Yes. ALCS. That was ALCS? I thought that was DS. Right? No, it had to be CS because they won the World Series.
Yeah, it was the ALCS, of course.
7. I want to say Derek Lowe started game 7.
It was Derek Lowe. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. Oh, I want to see the box score. Because Johnny Damon hit 2 home runs.
Uh-huh. They
in
won
that game.
10-3.
One was like, yeah, they kicked their ass. And I think they did that in the first inning, if I'm right.
Let me see if I can check up the box score.
I'm looking that up right now, actually. Yeah, so Boston drops 2 in the first, 4 in the second, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th.
Oh, there's the box score. Jesus, yeah. They were up 6, 7, 8. 8-1 by the 4th inning.
Oh, man, but there's this point, though, where you're just like, it was 4, 5, 6. It was 6-0 in the bottom of the third, and New York got one.
Yep.
So it's 6-1, and every Boston fan, nobody is fucking comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
No one. If you any Boston fans like, all right,
Nope,
here's the
here
deal.
it comes. Nope, they're going to fucking beat us. I
They're
know
gonna
it.
lose
It's a
it.
curse of the
You're like-
Bambino.
You're up 5. They're like, I don't care, and then it goes to the next inning.
No,
top
they're
half of the
still
fourth.
coming back. I
4,
know
5,
it.
6, 7. Now it's 8-1, and it's the bottom of the fourth, and you're like, no, I'm still not comfortable. Still not. There ain't any Boston fan that could tell you they were comfortable until about maybe the 8th inning.
Dude,
4, 5, 6.
I'm looking at the
No,
1
no,
through
I'm
6
sorry.
batting lineup
No,
of the Yankees. Fucking
what was it?
Jeter, Rodriguez, Sheffield, Matsui, Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada.
fuck.
That's unreal. Oh, and they had Cairo batting cleanup at 9.
Oh, yeah, man, what a fucking series that was. Gosh damn.
Wow.
And yeah, Schilling got the start there. He no-hitted them, I think, till the 7th.
Game 6.
Or
Yeah.
no run them anyway. I don't think he no hit him. What a fucking...
And then to make matters worse for the Yankees, the Red Sox go on to fucking sweep the Cardinals in the World Series to win it all and break the Bambino curse.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm gonna rally off a couple of these other ones, and we'll get out of here for the night.
Yeah.
This is podcast 1 of the coronavirus lockdown. So plenty more to come. But my number 4 was when Patrick Reed beat Rory McIlroy in the match play of the 2016 Ryder Cup.
Oh, okay.
And that was just like oh, yes! Like, God dang, man. Fucking love America. Like, kind of moment.
Yeah.
You're just like, Patty Reed is just like, the English were, or Team Europe was like, yeah, well, we're going to start Rory McIlroy. You got nobody to beat him. And America's like, yeah, well, we got Patrick Reed, who I think is going to be his kryptonite. You know why? Because he's a dick.
Yeah, he is a fucking dick, and a lot of people calling him cheater now, too, so...
Yeah, but he's just got this kind of asshole mentality to him. Where
the Shooter
like,
McGavin mentality.
Yes, exactly. And, it's the kind of the feeling that finally, for once in my life, that guy's on my team. I've always had that guy against me. It's the Draymond Greens, the Patrick Beverleys, the Alex Rodriguez's, the Mark Teixeiras, the fucking Jorge Posadas, the Derek Jeters, the Tom Brady's, the fucking Rob Gronkowski's, the Ray Lewis's, it's just like, oh my God, every fucking time. Can I just have one of those guys on my side one time?
That
never
may
happened
be
for me.
One of the greatest lists of American sports players that are just total badasses that you do not want to fuck with.
You hate playing against them because they're always going to do something to you. And you're just like, God dang it. I fucking can't stand them. I can't
need them on my team, though.
And then finally, for once in my life, I was just like, yes. Well, actually, I shouldn't say once in my life because we ended up. I really enjoyed my time with Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman when they were there with Seattle. But finally, it was like the first time I had like the villain on my team, and I was like, oh yes. And anytime Rory would do anything good, Patrick would just fucking like match him. He'd hit
right
him,
back
like,
in his face. Yep.
And then do the finger wave, and you're like, yes. Makes you want to have 2 middle fingers up in the air with 2 Coors Lights, smash them together, and throw them all over your face. Yeah.
Yes. Waving a fucking American flag right behind you.
Oh, exactly. You're like playing the national anthem. No, you're not even playing that. You're playing
full blast.
You're not playing that. You're playing the.
Oh yes. Or I was thinking, American Woman, Ted Nugent.
Yeah. I like the Lenny Kravitz one. The.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a great moment for me in my sports history of watching it on live television. I was just like, oh my God, I cannot leave. I was so excited to see Patrick just beating this impenetrable force that Team Europe was so confident was going to get that full point by whipping Patrick Reed's ass because we've got the best golfer in the world. And you're like, yeah, well.
Sorry about your luck.
Yeah, so... my third best of all time was when Seattle, of course, won the Super Bowl in 2014. There was not a moment in that game where I felt comfortable, even though we kicked the shit out of Denver. Until about 3 minutes
honorable
left
mention
in
of
that game.
mine. Yeah.
About 3 minutes left in that game is when I was like, okay, I can relax here a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think Peyton Manning's going to come back from this. What was the final score of that game? 43-8.
43-8. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was an ass kicking.
Oh my God. I don't remember it being it that bad. Holy shit.
Yeah. I remember it being damn near 50, and I was just like, yes. Yes. My number 2 was when Phil Mickelson came back in the 2013 British Open.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
5 strokes off the lead. Wasn't really even in contention. Phil's kind of getting up there in age. No one really thinks that Phil's even a second thought at winning this game or winning this tournament. Maybe he can have a good round and whatever, finish in the top 10 or something like that. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Balls out. Comes back from 5 under or from 5 back and puts together one of the best rounds in probably British Open history. Takes home the Claret Jug in 2013. Him and his caddy are just in tears. They're like, I don't
know what happened.
Like, yeah, exactly. They're like, it was the best round we've ever put together as a team.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And I was glued to the television. I could not fucking stop watching that. And I would get mad. You know how you get mad when, like if you're watching a golf tournament and you'll see, Tiger's playing and then they'll like, he'll drive and like his group will tee off and then they're walking down the fairway and they'll cut to a different hole. And you're like, I don't fucking care.
Yep. Yes. I hate that so much. Like, I just want to watch the fucking final grouping. Like, that's it.
Like, I would rather watch Tiger Woods and Justin Rose in the final group.
The entire tournament. Yeah, seriously.
Rather walking and analyzing their shots about what's going to come next.
I'd rather watch them fucking clean their clubs in between shots than watch whoever the fuck is playing in the third pairing.
Although I did find this, though, and I didn't look for this at all until I was told to, probably when I was about 14 or 15 by one of my friend's dads who would watch golf with that. Dane, you know Dane?
Yeah,
his dad
of course.
would, used to be a woodwork camera for big golf events and the NCAA tournament in Hawaii.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He would tell
me,
yeah, he would tell me that you get in the final round of those tournaments and why they like watch the guys who are finishing. They're probably like 6 or 7 holes in front of the final round or the final grouping, and watch those guys putt on the 18th green because those putts could mean like $100,000 in difference in how well you make a place in that tournament. So if you miss, so you'll see guys show emotion on the 18th green more than you probably normally would. I saw one guy, I'm not kidding you, he had like a 6-footer for a par and he missed it, so he got a bogey. And he just freaked out. He made the putt and then walked, after he made the putt, he just Bo Jacksoned it, took his putter and whoosh, over his knee.
Oh my lord! Yeah, that's a huge ass paycheck he left out.
Fuck, man, it was a putt, whatever. And then my buddy's dad was just like, "Yeah, that was about $190,000 putt though, because look where it placed him. He's no longer and tied for 8th place. And sole 8th place. He's tied for 14th." And you're like, "Oh no."
Yep.
So it's a big difference for those guys. It might not have been that much. It might have been like 25 or 50 grand, but still, that's a ton of money.
No, that's a lot of money, even for any athlete. I mean, let alone golfers. So,
yeah. So yeah, no, that's for me. That was it. Obviously, my number one was the 2004 ALCS Boston over New York.
Yeah, I ruined that one for you.
Great moment. Such a good time. Iconic time.
Definitely shit the bed by bringing that one up too soon.
What did you have?
I only had a couple more, and they ain't long ones. I had the 2000 Super Bowl. It was with the Tennessee Titans and the St. Louis Rams.
Came down to the last play there.
Kevin Dyson, sorry, literally as time expired, pass that was completed to him, and he gets downed at the 1-yard line as time expired, and they lose the game 24-16 or no 23-16.
Game
and dude,
of
that
inches.
was that like time period. I was a big fan of the Rams, believe it or not. I was a Cowboys fan at heart, of course, but I really liked the Rams. Dude, that Rams team was so fucking good. They had Kurt Warner at quarterback. They had Marshall Faulk at running back. They had arguably one of the best wide receiver tandems of all time with Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. Who was their safety? Archuleta. Was it Jeremy Archuleta? No, it started with a J. Oh, Adam Archuleta. Yeah. But, yeah, man, that Rams team I was just a huge fan of regardless. But, yeah, they called that game the greatest show on turf, obviously, coming down to the final play as time expired, Friday Night Light style.
Oh, my God, dude. I'm looking at that picture. He almost got into the end zone. It's so much closer than I thought.
It's how you would not want any game to end if you were on the losing end.
Dyson just... Oh, my God. He's not even on the 1 yard line. He's on the half yard line.
So fucking close.
So shitty.
Matt, I mean, the Titans were a pretty new team then, too. So they were like... This is the time to get a fucking Super Bowl, and they just...
Yep.
My last one... What's that?
That's when the Rams just had those atrocious uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
I
liked them.
I fucking hate those.
Oh, Orlando Pace was on that team, too. One of the Hall of Fame O-linemen there are.
God, you like these things? These are dog shit.
Well, it's better than the new Rams logo. Did you see that come out today?
Oh, yeah. Something about they need to lose the gold in their uniforms.
Yeah, it looks like the fucking Chargers logo.
What are they doing?
What are they?
Everything is white and blue, and then they'll like wear that blue helmet with the gold like Ram thing. You're like, what are you doing?
It looks like a Chargers logo, not a Rams logo to me.
Yeah. It's bad. Oh, Steve McNair was their quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
For Tennessee.
That was a Steve McNair time.
Eddie George was a running back? Cool.
Oh, yeah. That
was a good team.
That was a very good team. Who was the tight end for the Rams? Was it Jeremy Shockey? No, he was with New Orleans. Ronald Williams?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Ronald
I could have swore it was definitely somebody I knew.
Roland.
Dude, they had London Fletcher at middle linebacker as well. Oh, anyway. Dexter McLeon was a great cornerback for them as well. Okay, sorry. On to my last one. The 2007 College Football's Fiesta Bowl.
2007 Fiesta Bowl? Oh, shit, dude. That's Boise State, right?
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma, Boise State. Oh, man.
That was so good. I was rooting so hard for Boise State.
Dude, I was rooting hard for Oklahoma because I was a Big 12 fan, but...
my brother had just left for college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're my oldest brother, and he was at Boise State at that time.
Wow.
So
that's nuts. Yeah, it was number 8, Oklahoma, number 9, Boise State. They Boise State ended up winning 43-42 in overtime. I mean, that's the where the game. So Oklahoma, they scored like 25 unanswered points.
Yeah.
To take the lead with like a minute left, and then the teams combined scored 22 points in the final minute 26 of regulation, and then scored 15 more points in overtime.
When they first did the
Statue of Liberty.
Well, the first one, to get him there, Zabransky drops back to pass, and then it just totally caught Oklahoma off guard. They were like, "What the fuck is going on?
You can't do that. What is this, ghost ball?"
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I would think. That Steve was like, "What? Are you blind?
You can't do that."
So they go down and score on that play, and then they run another fake play, and then they run the Statue of Liberty.
3 trick plays in a row.
Is arguably one of the. I mean, I don't know that play works today.
I don't know either, man. Trick plays are kind of.
It. And then, hey, I got one picky nit on that.
One picky nit on what, mate?
hey, Ian Johnson, you just won the Fiesta Bowl in a game that you weren't supposed to be in. Don't throw the fucking football into the 40 rows into the stands. What are you doing?
What a fucking idiot.
Good Lord. And
Okay,
like,
I didn't mean that, but
I gotta go find my girlfriend. I gotta marry her. Live television, man. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, nah, bro. I gotta get the fans, bro. This is the time. This is my life's work coming together all at once, bro.
Be divorced in a year.
Wait, did they actually?
No.
Oh,
Actually, I think
okay.
they married and have some kiddos, so it's just being a dick.
I'd be like, that'd be fucking hilarious if they did. Well, not really hilarious, but
yeah, man, he threw the freaking ball, he's it 40 rows in the. I mean, some guys got that ball to this day.
oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, man, I freaking Ian Johnson ran it in, freaking hucked the ball. I took it, sold it on eBay for $1,400.
No, watch. It was probably like the homeless guy in semi-pro where he got the half-court shot, but instead he got that football in that game. He was like, hey, man, I got the ball from the game, bro. And he just fucking forgot about it the next day because he was high on fucking drugs.
Yeah.
No,
What happened to that ball? I don't know. I gave it to some kid.
I don't know. I was playing around with some dogs and it got tossed up in the middle of stuff.
And took it. Yeah.
But
speaking of memorabilia that's gone missing, there's a couple of them.
are you going to talk about Tom Brady's jersey?
Well, that one's crazy. That one actually ended up being found. Can you believe that thing made it all the way to Mexico?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was found either.
2 of his jerseys went missing.
Huh.
2 of them went missing. Yeah, that's they did a really good research on that, and they ended up getting them all back too.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
Well, a couple things where I would know. I would want to know where that Ian Johnson Boise State football is to this day. I want to know who has it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are listening to this and you know somebody in Boise that has you've heard stories of somebody, email us. I want to see if we can get this guy on. Or
seriously,
just,
we would love.
I would love if you can think of another one that's even better than what we're talking about. Let us know. I did hear. No, I didn't hear it. What am I saying? I'd like to know where the bases are that got stolen on Dime Beer Night.
10-cent beer night, yes.
Yeah. I would like to know because Dave Anthony said it best on his podcast. And he was like, there are 3 families out there that are like, yeah, your dad or your grandpappy went to Dime Beer Night and went onto the field and stole a base.
And still have it to this day, in somebody's base man cave.
And it's not going anywhere.
Oh, man.
I did hear a thing that if you throw a perfect game in Major League Baseball, they'll take out the rubber and give it to you.
Oh, to the pitcher? That's cool.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome. I would like to know where I'm sure all the golfers keep them, but if they won a major, where does the ball go?
Yeah.
Because you watch them always celebrate especially if they win it on that putt. And
question, you probably know this, I don't for sure. Does the tournament holders keep the scorecards, or do they keep the scorecards?
I think the tournament holder keeps a scorecard. I don't think you probably get it back.
Yeah.
But,
okay, just curious.
Yeah, you certainly don't get it. Any other ones that you would like to know? Man, I'd like to know where Sidney Crosby's puck is when he hit the shot. A Wayne Gretzky's his league breaking the record of the most goals scored over Gordie Howe. I'd like to know where that puck's at. I can almost guarantee you that's either with him or with the Hockey Hall of Fame, but who knows, man. Yeah. I had one more question to ask you too.
Okay, shoot.
All right, you get to pick 2.
Okay, 2.
Could go back in time where they're like, all right, Alex, here's the thing. You get to go to this game. and you can bring whoever you want. That you get to bring one person. You don't even have to say who they are, but you get to go to these 2 games. No, it's just you. You don't even get to bring friends. It's just you. They're like, all right, you get to go to any game you want in the past. Which ones are you taking? Do you want me to start?
Like, are you asking me the game or people
Yeah.
I'm bringing?
The game. Just the game. What game would you be like,
Oh,
fuck, I wish I
man.
was there. Holy shit.
Well, I
wish
know
was there.
one. I'm trying to think of a second. You go first. I'll think of my second as you're giving me your 2.
I would do anything to be at the Malice at the Palace.
Oh, yeah.
When Artest and Jackson blew a fuse and started punching fans, and beer and shit was just flying everywhere, and people went crazy for 5 to 10 minutes where they just lost it. I would be like 13 rows up, just out of distance to where people are like getting punched, but I'm seeing this so close in front of my face. I'm like, oh man, Rasheed Wallace just, oh no, Steven Jackson, what are you doing? Oh! I'd have a beer or 2, and I would just watch.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my gosh. I don't know why that would be so interesting to me, but I would do that. That would be definitely one of them.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's tough. It's a toss-up because I'd like to be at one of the Masters when Tiger won it, particularly last year.
Yeah, for sure. Or the fist pump year. That one, too.
Oh, I mean, he fist pumped every year.
Oh, yeah, of course, but...
when Michael Jordan hit the game winner
against
oh man, was that against the Jazz or the Nuggets? I can't remember.
All right, you want to hear my 2? Well, I have 2. I can't decide between my number 2, so I kind of split the 2. One of them tied for number 2 is the Babe Ruth game when he calls the home run.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool to see.
That's probably an honorable mention. My number 2 being...
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's not as cool as if you saw it in person. I think you would be disappointed.
I think you maybe.
I think you would go back in time and you'd be like, what the fuck? The guy's throwing a 78-mile-an-hour fastball to a raging alcoholic who might not even know where he's at right now. And hit
That's why I kind of put it at my honorable mention, but... and these are literally just the first couple games that came into my mind. So my number 2 would be Wilt's 100-point game.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
you'd have to be there for that. That would be
my
cool
obvious number 1. I'm kind of surprised you didn't even say it, man. The 1980 Miracle on Ice.
Damn, those are really good.
Yeah, the Miracle on Ice is hands down the one sporting event I wish I could have been at.
Man,
Lake Placid, New York, against the fucking Soviet Union.
I don't think you can beat that one.
Oh my god,
I think you're right. The only other one would have been when Team USA won the World Cup, the girls or the women, with what's her name? Shit, I'm losing her name. What the fuck's her name? She hits the game-winning goal, takes off the shirt. She's in the sports bra.
Oh, Brandy Chastain, the 2001 World Cup in the Rose Bowl.
Los
My
Angeles,
father was at that game.
Yeah.
No, he was actually at the game.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad was. He has the shirt and everything.
Dude.
Yeah.
That would have been a great one to go to.
I believe it was 2001. No, what year was it? Hold on. It was 99, yep.
99. Yep.
My dad was literally at the fucking Rose Bowl watching watch that. God, it's insane, man.
That was to win the World Cup, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been pretty dope. But anyway,
definitely in my top 5 of wish I had seen.
I think you take the bacon with that one. I don't know why I would want to. I just would have wanted to see a fight break out. I don't know. I've always wanted to see that at a game. I know people are like, "What are you talking about?" If you had 2 things to go back in time to see, you would do it on Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
Fuck is your problem? And like, yeah, I would like to say that I was there. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have thrown anything at a player or anything.
Oh, and
but
you
I was
also
just-
mentioned it already. Another one would be 10 Cent Beer Night. Wish I was at that.
yeah, that would have been cool. Or a disco demolition night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been because that was kind of like round 2 of
Yep.
10 Cent Beer Night, where people just went crazy. Except I think people were more tripping on acid and
Then
Coke.
beard up.
yeah, just losing their mind. But anyway, so if you have any questions, email us or
Please feel free
come on.
to email us to
Come on,
retiredkickers@gmail.com. That's where you can hit us up at. Send us some questions. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. I want to hear your input, peeps.
peeps. Okay, and one more thing. Rock Bottom
Yeah.
to Rock Solid, a blog of how to fight back when the world seems against you. A former college baseball player's story of how to come back from a life-altering traumatic event, how fatal head-on collision was not going to define his life. Join him as he tells a story about battling depression, substance abuse, and PTSD. He will explain his experiences and the approach he took to get his life back, and something he could be proud of. Check it out at mindofIan.com. That's mindofIan.com. Check that out, folks. Anyway, bud, that's all I got.
Yeah, dog. I'm about to sign off myself.
For show. All right, well, had fun. We'll catch you a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll have another coronavirus episode coming soon. So,
Sweet. Keep that.
All right.
Stay safe, COVIDs.
stay in quarantine if you've got the virus. We'll be checking in on you. So.
I don't know. Actually, I think it'd be okay to go to Florida Beach or something like that. It seems like people are doing
No,
that too.
stop
I don't
it.
Fucking know.
Stop.
What? You don't want to join spring break with the rest of the COVIDs?
Oh my God, you're going
What?
there.
No, unfortunately, we'll talk about that.
Peace,
another
I'm
time.
out.
Be smart. All right, see you guys.